When you have two numbers and at least one of those numbers are in parentheses, you should know that these numbers are being multiplied, even though there's no multiplication symbol between them. So 2 parentheses 3 would be 6, and something like 2 parentheses 4 would be 8. With that in mind, distributive property is when you apply this idea of multiplication with parentheses to multiple numbers. So in this case, we have 10 parentheses something. Now, instead of there being one number or one variable, we have both a variable and a number. That parentheses tells us that this 10 is being multiplied not just by v, but by v and by 7. So what we do is we literally multiply 10 by both of those numbers, or both of those terms, one at a time. So first we can do 10 times v. Now v is just a variable. We don't know what number it represents. So we leave this as 10v. We just drop the parentheses. Then we move on to the next term. And it's not just a 7, but we always take the sign into account. So to the left of the 7, there's a negative or minus sign. So we treat this as 10 times negative 7. And 10 times negative 7 gives me negative 70. So I'm going to write down a minus for my negative and then a 70. This will be the final answer to the problem. 10 times parentheses v minus 7 is 10v minus 70. For this problem, we have 12 with another parenthesis. So 12 is being multiplied by 5 and by x. So we go ahead and do the multiplication one term at a time. 12 times 5 would give me 60. 12 times x would give me 12x. Now that 12x would be, we can kind of consider it a positive because of this plus. So it would be 60 plus 12x. And this would be my answer to the problem. For this problem, the order is a bit backwards. If you notice, we have a parentheses first, and then we have this 4 to the right of it. Anytime there's two numbers next to each other, it doesn't matter which of those numbers are in parentheses. As long as one of them is in parentheses, then we can multiply them. So in this case, we have u minus 10, and it's being multiplied by 4. So what we can do is, we can think of it two ways. We can either multiply the 4 out to the u and 4 times negative 10, or we can do it the other way with u times 4 and then negative 10 times 4. Regardless of which method you follow, you'll get the same answer. So to be consistent with the other problems, I'm going to take this 4 and I'm going to multiply it out. So 4 times u gives me 4u. And 4 times negative 10, keep in mind we always keep track of this sign. 4 times negative 10 is negative 40. So my answer is 4u minus 40. For this problem, it's similar to the last one, where we have the 6 on the outside of the parentheses, but to the right. So we're going to take that 6 and we're going to multiply it out. 6 times u is 6u. 6 times positive 6 is positive, so we write a plus sign, 36. So this answer ends up being 6u plus 36.